Legendary, iconic, and instantly recognizable. Few people have dominated an industry the way Karl Lagerfeld has dominated fashion. His leadership of some of couture's best-known brands has established him as one of the most successful and charismatic designers of modern times.
Welcome to Toronto.
Even in his 70s, he still causes a commotion wherever he goes. Always a standout in his signature sunglasses, high-collared shirts and ponytail, in Canada for the first time to show off his latest creative endeavor. Lagerfeld is designing the lobby of Toronto's latest condominium development. Owners are keen to connect with his international cachet while lending the launch party a little star power. This creative chameleon has stretched his stylings beyond fashion before, designing everything from hotels to coins, even Coke bottles. He's a photographer, filmmaker, publisher, costume designer, and advertising creative director. But it is his clothes that count the most, leading some of the world's top luxury labels like Chanel, where he's worked for more than 30 years, Fendi of Italy, and his own Lagerfeld label. While some of his work costs as much as a car, he's in tune with trends like fast and affordable fashion. Designing lines for low-budget chain H&M, creating what he calls accessible luxury. Lagerfeld's condo lobby is just the latest twist in a lengthy career. When I caught up with him, I wanted to know why he chose this Toronto project.
I have never been in Canada, and I wanted to go one day to Canada, but I need a professional reason. I'm not a tourist. I hate to be a tourist. I feel like an idiot if I'm a tourist. So I did so many houses for myself that I can hardly add any, because I even had houses where I never spent one day. And I like interior design, but not for other private people. So I thought this idea was quite funny, because, you know, it's not the first time I do that. I did a similar thing in Taiwan, and I'm doing a huge hotel in Macau, but where I do all the rooms, everything. Huh? But in Taiwan, I do the same thing here, the only one apartment, and you know, to show people how it could be, and the lobby. Huh? And also there I did the facade to the whole building.
And what's different about this kind of design, architecture, interior design, from what you're...
You know, it's different and it's not different because the technique is completely different. But as I was always interested in architecture, design and all that, for me it's something very personal at the same time like fashion. Huh? I don't have to think that it's something I have never done or what it's an unknown kind of thing for me. No, I feel very at ease with it, and I have an instant vision of what I could do, should do, and would do. Maybe it sounds pretentious, but for me it's a project I can easily identify with.
And to put your name on it, you must trust that it will be a quality project.
Yes, but I mean, I put my name on things I like, so I don't have to hide my name. It's not some oral project. I mean, they have the possibility to make something beautiful, so why not? My idea, what I think they should do, because it's still early, is in my own eyes and for my own standard, good enough that I can put my name on it. I don't do jobs where my name could not appear. This I never do.
And you, as you say, it's all the same process.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that thing, creativity, to you that is the same from photography to fashion to architecture?
Very difficult to explain because nobody else really does it the same way. Yeah? So I don't know. It happened one after the other, and it melted all together and became something. What helps me for everything, one helps the other. It's a very strange thing. I cannot and I don't want to analyze too much.
Are you ever insecure about your creativity? What? Ever uncertain that you will be able to produce the kind of work you want?
No, people are very much into burnout and those stuff today. You know, I have a position in life in terms of work, what is so pleasant that it's very difficult to be that difficult and thinking that's too much. I have great people working with me, unbelievable teams, some people who for 30, 40 years worked with me, had never worked for somebody else. So this is like some Swiss watch, you see. Huh? So I don't even, what you asked me is even a question that doesn't enter my mind.
You're definitely on the record saying you want to look forward.
Exactly. You know, in fashion what I like is next step, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. Huh? Now it's even 3 months because there are so many collections with the cruise and the métier d'art, Chanel and all that. But I think it's a healthy way of doing for people like me. If the others think it's too much for their creativity, that's their problem, that's not mine.
So is it really invention that you do? If it's the next thing, if it's always forward?
Yes. I'm never pleased with what I did. I always hope that I can do better, that the next time it will be better. I consider myself lazy. I mean, grotesque, it's ridiculous. But thank God I'm like this.
And yet, at this point, it's impossible almost not to look back at what you've done and what you've achieved. And
yeah, but I don't think about that. For me, I'm always the beginner. The next collection is always the first. The sketch I make is always the first. I don't work that way, and one shouldn't work that way, I think.
So what is the starting point for you? When you design, is there a moment, is it a sketch? What's the moment that begins that creative process?
Sometimes it's very different, because there are no rules either, Sometimes I have idea in the oddest places, and then I have to run to find a paper to put the idea on the paper, because I can forget it. That's a very strange thing, and it should stay a strange thing, because it's not a recipe. There are no rules for this kind of thing.
People can't learn from what Karl Lagerfeld does.
No. You have to be myself to learn from me.
You talked about the pace.
Yeah.
Now 3 months is fast fashion.
Yes, it's like fast food, but I mean, it's very often the couture is done by other workers than the ready-to-wear, so it's not that fast. For them, it's fast for me, but for the ateliers and the people who work, it's not that fast. And also, they have big, people like Chanel, they have the biggest couture operation in the world. They have over 250 workers in the workroom doing the clients. So nobody has that, nobody.
There is a sense, though, that fashion is more accessible now. Even at the highest end, people want to feel like they can...
Yes, but you know what I think is great? That, I did H&M, the first designer who did H&M, and I'm very happy to do that, because there was a kind of misunderstanding, especially with my own label, because the people who were behind that, because I never had business, I hate business. I mean, I like business to be good, but not run by me. It's not my job. It's a job for everybody, and this is not part of my job. So they always wanted to be in competition with Fendi, what is LVMH, or with Chanel. But, then they have to invest billions, but they are not always ready. They want the billions to come in without investing them. That doesn't exist. And I always wanted, seen as I'm vaguely popular, to say it in a very modest way, to do something, also people who like fashion, who can buy it with not too expensive. And this is what I wanted the Lagerfeld label to be. So I like the idea of being a designer on different levels. And I think I cope quite well with it.
Do you prefer one to the other? The one that is...
No. When you start to have a preference, you have to forget about it. No. I don't prefer photography to fashion. I don't prefer fashion to making books, because I'm a publisher too. No. This is all different jobs. And at the same time, when you start to think this, I prefer to this and this. No. It has to be a kind of same level, but different. I never mix things up. It's very strange. When I had Fendi, I don't remember what I'm doing at Chanel, and when I'm at Chanel, I don't remember what I'm doing at Lagerfeld or what I'm doing at Fendi. It's very strange. That's why I never make the same stuff, because I don't care that people think, oh, it's typically for him. Maybe it is, but I'm not a designer who needs his name attached to the label like some, Chanel is Chanel. Everybody knows that I'm doing Chanel, and so...
When you're doing, we think of those in the business world as brands.
Yeah.
Do you find that offensive, that it's a brand that has its own kind of identity that you need to protect? Whether it's Chanel or Fendi.
Why offensive?
Well, because you are different from designers that have come before.
No.
What is the
it's
brand?
The way I want it.
Yeah?
Oh, no, that's exactly the way I want it. I work for a label. I'm what they used to call a mercenaire, a hired gun.
Karl Lagerfeld has kept his place atop the notoriously fickle world of fashion for more than 60 years. Ever evolving and always unmistakable, he's synonymous with style and sophistication.
Lagerfeld's latest Chanel show is, as always, a major media event. Every look, every move choreographed, every eye looking for this year's silhouette. Lagerfeld's public image is polished, even posed. For all the scrutiny, the man behind the sunglasses remains mostly a mystery. Born in Hamburg, Germany in 1938, Lagerfeld soon found himself in Paris, winning awards and work with top talent. His first break was being hired by celebrated designer Pierre Balmain. He never looked back. In 1983, he was lucky enough to be hired by Chanel. Founder Coco Chanel's decline had left the brand in need of rejuvenation. Lagerfeld not only turned Chanel around, but built it into the largest couture business in the world. He's still in charge today. His life seems like one big party. Not many can celebrate decades of success and celebrity while remaining relevant. I wanted to know more about the man and his motivations, and which of the lucky breaks he's had matters most to him.
You know, I'm that stupid that I always think the lucky is still to come. I don't know. You know, I never think that way. I made too many efforts to forget even the good things and the things who were not that great, that I don't live that way, because the minute you start to think that was the best, no, the best are still to come. Because always I think I can still improve, I can do better, you know. Maybe it's ridiculous, but thank God that's the way I am.
There is a hunger to improve and do better?
Yeah. No, I like this job because I like to go ahead in the job and have more knowledge, to know the technique better and everything. And you know, don't forget, I can do those things in the best of conditions. There's one word what doesn't exist, no.
Never has?
Perhaps in the past, but the people I work now with, they are successful enough that that word has to be off the language. And I'm not a marketing person. I improvise, you know. I totally improvise. But maybe that's better than marketing as a job.
I think so.
Me too.
Your success built over one thing after another.
That's healthy. If not, you know, too much too early is very, very dangerous. Too much hype for young designers can kill them. Oh, no, that's very dangerous. Because when I was young, being young was not the best thing in the world, because you hadn't proven that you are good. So you had to battle in a way to get accepted, and I think that's a good thing. Today, even for very little, they can think they are geniuses. But the drama is they have to stay geniuses.
Do you enjoy the celebrity that comes with your craft?
You know, it's a very vulgar French expression. They said, you cannot have the butter and the money of the butter. So
it is what it is?
There are pleasant moments and there are very unpleasant moments. So, you know, you have to cope with that. But I hardly go on the street, so I don't really suffer from that. My public appearances go from a door to a car.
You can't go on the street, really?
No, that's over. That's my fault. I'm too easy to identify. And then they want selfies. And I hate to do selfies with unknown people because I don't want to be on their telephones. And I don't want to be rude either.
Celebrity has changed.
Yes.
In the last few years,
yes,
for the worse.
That's the modern world, that's the way it is. We cannot even discuss it.
One thing that does come with celebrity now, it seems, with people like you, your fellow designers, is that your public doesn't want to see you just as a designer. They want to know what you think about things, and they want you not to be controversial on things. Is that fair?
More or less.
I've seen a view of yours that you don't believe in gay marriage, you don't support it.
No.
If some of your fans found that offensive, do they have a right to find that offensive? Yeah.
What can I do? But that's not such a problem. And I'm too isolated in the same way to really suffer from that. I live in a tower, but not in an ivory tower, because I live in a high building where I can capture everything what's going on, like a TV antenna you see. I like to be informed. I love to read newspapers, to look at news and things like that. I like really to be informed. In
fact, you probably need to be in order to be the inventor of the next thing.
No. And I don't watch TV that much because I prefer to imagine things. I mostly watch news and things like this because everything's interesting, and even politics are interesting, good or bad, but in a way they have an influence on fashion too.
Are you happy? Does your creativity give you joy?
You know, you are happy as long as you don't ask yourself this kind of questions.
Or get them asked.
Exactly. You know, but you know what happy means. I can do what I want in the best of circumstances. If people are not happy with that, then they have to have a look somewhere else.
And what do you want? What's on the list that you haven't yet done? Anything?
There are zillions of things, but there are zillions of things I'm not gifted for. I would lose my time and things like this. No, you know, what I'm doing is perfect with me. Fashion, photography, books. The rest other people can do. I'm not needed there. That's why this project, what is on the borderline of what I'm doing, is interesting because it opens another door.
Is there anything you've tried to do that you stopped and thought, I'm not going to be good at this, in the design world?
I don't even have to tell myself. I know that by instinct.
And so you don't do it?
Yeah, no. When I feel it's not good for me, I wouldn't do it. No. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. I don't have to, If I could say something vulgar, I don't have to make a living. So that's different. I can make the choice in things I think are interesting. Huh?
It's hard, I know you don't like to look back, but it's hard not to ask somebody like you who's gone from Balmain to H&M.
Yes. Yeah, but that's a great thing that I could do and can do. The most inexpensive, I didn't say the cheap because I had that word, to the most expensive. Balmain, I was a young assistant, I don't even hardly remember. Huh? But now I think it's fun that I could do H&M and at the same time the most expensive clothes in the world, the Chanel Couture. I mean, that is quite a scale. Huh?
And in your time, how has fashion changed?
In what time?
In the time that you began designing to now?
The world has changed. Fashion has changed as much as the world. Huh? Women have changed the whole thing. It's like on another planet. Huh? But you don't feel that because it comes slowly. Huh? But in fact, it's like it was 100 or 200 years ago.
Do you think about technology at all? And
Yes, sure. That's very important. Even for dresses and clothes the way are made today, you have to be informed about everything. That's very exciting because it's interesting to work with materials you had never had before. Oh, no. And I like iPads, I like iPhones, I like all the worst things of today.
And does that shape your designs?
In a way, it's not an influence where I can say this shapes my design. But I think there is a kind of general confusion of everything, and out of that comes something. What is your work and your collections?
And when you talk about how things are made, the technology that makes them, the places they may be made, is that exciting to you to think about, for instance, if you're doing something for H&M that's made somewhere much less expensively than...
Yeah, but all this is, I don't know, it's very strange. I do it without telling myself to do it that way. It comes naturally, I'm not a machine. I'm somebody with a strange instinct who can adopt to all kinds of situations without making an effort in that area. For the rest, I don't make efforts.
And will you ever slow down? Will you ever just stop?
No, we don't think about those things. Huh? It starts with me, it ends with me, but I don't have this kind of ideas. All my contracts are lifelong, so I have to die on the job.
And that's what you want?
I love to, like on the battlefield, great, but not in a hurry.
You have a place in history, no question.
I don't know myself. I don't know. Because the only person who will never know it's me. So forget about it. Huh? I really don't care about posterity. There are a lot of people who were very famous in their days and totally forgotten, and there were people who were hardly known in their days and became the most famous now.
And it doesn't matter?
The Impressionist painters. Very few people knew them. The famous one were people like Bouguereau and things like this, who are more or less forgotten now. You see? No. This is there are people who can survive, but there are people who can become more important after, but not in fashion, because that's another area. Fashion is not painting and it's not art. Fashion is an applied art.
And you're looking forward?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.